I'm going to tell you right now, you will never become a coach. It's crazy what life can do to someone that has a vision. The universe keeps giving you awesome shit if you're aligned with your mindset. Today I failed, which is good because it brings me closer to the right way.
Max Tornow, one of the OGs of the online coaching space. From dating coach to now business mentor. Whatever I put my mind to, I can actually do.
You're probably like slightly hypnotizing me as I'm speaking to you or something like that. Like,
I want to hear the story of the first time you did ayahuasca. Max went from teaching guys how to build confidence with women to helping them build high-ticket coaching empires to now helping everybody and anybody start businesses using AI. This was one of the most fun and honestly shocking conversations I've ever had on Conscious Entrepreneur. You're going to have a great time listening to this whilst learning a lot. You've been in this online space for... Actually, when did you even get in, bro? Because I started following you back in the day when you did your first dating program.
Yeah.
When did you actually even start?
Start with what exactly?
With online business. Just being in the online space.
Yeah, 2018 was the first established. I got people buying my premium one-on-one dating coaching, which back then was $24,000, because that was one-on-one with me. I've had like guys that bought that, and then I had a one-on-one call. I'm like, okay, whatever, Jeremy, tell me about your goals. Like, what kind of dream partner are you envisioning? And they're like, oh no, I'm happily married for 8 years. I just bought your program because I wanted to know how you build a coaching business and if I can pick your brain like that. And then I'm like, you know, And I saw more comments on my social media asking for business advice. And that got me really excited. I felt the same excitement for business that I felt back then for the dating advice thing.
I think because you just grew so fast, like the way you did it was and particularly back then. Like people weren't like really like growing in that way then. You know what I mean? It was like a different time.
Yeah.
You just seem to just somehow go from kid just trying to like working for free to suddenly making like millions of dollars with an online coaching business. And I think that's just like everyone's dream at the age of like 18 to like 25.
Yeah. It was mine. So it was mine. And I was at the right place at the right time. And for the first time as a young man, I felt like a gorilla got out of the cage, got let out of the cage because I was in a situation where I could go all in. There was nothing else. Because before that, I was studying at the University of Vienna. I had a part-time job as a resident assistant for exchange students. I had my family in Austria. I had my own dating life in Austria. I remember I had like 7 girlfriends that I could like rotate for every day of the week. And every time I would find another girlfriend, I would let the least exciting girlfriend like drop out. So it would get better and better. Too much information. And so I had to balance all these things. And then I became an unpaid intern at Real Social Dynamics. And of course, I had to work my ass off as an intern at first. And I was doing everything as a personal assistant to Owen Cook, my back then mentor. I love that guy, by the way. I own everything. I owe everything to Owen Cook. Like, he inspired me to get started. I learned a lot from being his personal assistant, even though half of the jobs were just shit jobs, like bring his laundry to the laundry people, bring his girlfriend's car, her broken car that couldn't go faster than like 5 miles an hour. I had to drive that through LA traffic to the whatever they're called, the car fix people. That was so funny. And like people like honking, get the fuck up. And I'm like 22 years old. Like, I have to drive it to the car fix. I'm sorry. So jobs like that. But I learned a lot just by picking up how he works from the phone and manage his company. And then they offered me the instructor position, which was still unpaid. It was 6 more months unpaid. But then I was kind of like released from the assistant's duty and I could go all in. And it's crazy what life can do to someone that has a vision and a purpose and a goal, and they have 0 other distractions. Because I was still in the US, meaning I didn't have any girlfriends there. I couldn't visit my family because they're all in Europe. I didn't have to worry about like my job because I didn't have a job anymore. I had quit university. That was all I had. That was all I had. Okay, so it was just like, be really good at coaching your clients, film everything, make sure you post as much as you humanly can. And for me, it was like, okay, it's just all this one thing. Everything I breathe, I eat, I sleep, I dream is about this one thing. So I felt like truly unleashed. My entire life, my entire existence was about that. And that allowed me to just go all in. And it's funny because it doesn't need to be like that anymore. Back then it needed to be, because there was no AI editing tool where you just upload a video, you click a button, and it has the subtitles and the GIFs and the music and the cuts. Doesn't fucking work like that. Like, I had to manually write the subtitles for every single video, like manually, like frame by frame. I had to make every single cut myself. I had to think about, is this interesting? Should I cut the end? There was no scripting tool. Like we have now, like tools that custom GPTs that we give our clients, where you just type in your niche, you type in your audience, and it comes up with 10 viral ideas. I didn't have that. That was fucking 2011. I had to come up with this stuff myself. Now it's good because I put all this knowledge in the AI tools that I've created now for my clients. So back then you kind of had to go all in. So I was at the right time at the right spot. And I had an offer that I resonated deeply with myself, right? Because I used to be super shy and awkward. And I helped then guys that were shy and awkward as well become better at dating and more confident. So I was very much at the right time, at the right space, and I was able to go all in, and I did. And I'm glad that it worked. I'm very, very happy. I'm extremely grateful. And, you know, now I'm in fucking Dubai and I'm talking to you. Like, it just keeps getting better. It doesn't stop.
What was that moment like when you, whether a phone call or a meeting or whatever, and it was that moment of like, okay, this is your opportunity. Mm-hmm. Like, what was that actually like? Because I think for a lot, and the reason I'm asking this is because for a lot of people who maybe look at you or look at this lifestyle and they think like, oh, you're so different to them, or you have something else. It's like, there was always a moment when you had to overcome something to make that change.
Yeah.
I'd love to know like what that was actually like for you.
So I remember that moment exactly. So it had been 6 months into my internship, unpaid. And funny enough, in that internship, I think the first week I actually had gotten fired. It was the first week in Miami, and Owen, back then, he pulled me aside and he's like, look, man, like I could see you're zoned out for some of the tasks I'm giving you. You fucked up you fucked up this one speech. You were supposed to film it. You fucked up here and here. But then I saw you really, really locked in on some of the other tasks, specifically the tasks where you assisted me on my coaching with my clients. All of a sudden, I saw you awake, focused, locked in, and I think you only wanted this position of the assistant because you thought maybe it will make you become an instructor. And an instructor, aka like a coach within Real Social Dynamics. And there was only 6 other instructors worldwide that had that job. And I mean, that job is like you're traveling the world, you're talking to girls, you're teaching guys how to talk to girls, and you get paid for that. So as a young 20-year-old, it's literally your dream job. Like, what? I get to travel the world. I get to be on a world tour, give seminars, teach cool shit that I would teach for free, and be like cool and create a brand and everything. And it's not really a job. It was like a collaboration because you still had to build your own business. You still had to create your own brand. They didn't really give you much guidance in this regard, but it was still a really sick gig, you know? And he said, so I have a feeling that you only want to do this, but I'm telling you, like, there's like 1,000 guys like you that hit me up every fucking month who want that. It's extremely unlikely that you'll be the one. There's only 6 of us. There's a reason why it's only 6 and not 60. Because it's extremely hard. We're extremely picky who we allow to collaborate with us in that. So just for the sake of transparency, I'm going to tell you right now, you will never become a coach. Never. It's not going to happen, at least not with us. If that is fine with you, it's fine with me too. If that's not fine, that's totally fine, then you can leave tomorrow. So I went to bed, aka my spot underneath the air conditioner on the floor, so that's all I could get. I went to sleep extremely depressed. I'm because that was my only fucking goal. And I'm like, fuck, like I blew it one fucking weekend. I'm the joke of the town, right? Because I'm going to fly back to my hometown, like as the loser who couldn't make it. But then I woke up with a fresh perspective of like, okay, if there's a 0% chance, maybe it's like 0.1%. I don't think it's exactly 0%. So even if it's just 0.1%, I'm going to take that chance. Because I'd rather, lie on my deathbed at 80 years old, knowing I tried, I went all in and I failed, than thinking to myself, what if? What if I had taken the challenge? What if I didn't give up? What if I hadn't given up? What if I had just taken the chance? Those words, those two words, what if, I think those are the most painful words to endure in your life. So I took the challenge and I said, okay, if that company only wants me to be an assistant, then I'm going to show that company what it's like to be the best fucking assistant in the world. I'm going to be the best fucking assistant. And from that moment on, I was locked into the assistantship. Reachable 24/7. Owen would call me at like 3 a.m. in the morning. I would just gone to bed. And he's like, hey, can you pick me up and drive me to a fucking massage? I'd be like, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Like, I had such a routine of just being ready and did everything perfectly. After 6 months, I didn't even realize it was 6 months. I was so in the moment, so in the grind, loved it so much. I started really loving the idea of being a really good assistant because it allowed me to just go all in. Just that's the only thing I have. And even if it doesn't work, go all into that. And then it was in Vegas, actually. We had a Vegas summit, which means all the best clients of RSD, of the company, were invited to this one big event. It was like a 5-day multi-seminar event. So everybody was in Vegas. I had to share my room with my best friend because obviously I couldn't afford anything. I didn't get paid. And then they said, Max, business meeting at this time at the, I think, Wynn Steakhouse. There's a great steakhouse in the Wynn Hotel. And that's normal. I had been invited to many business meetings before that to like write notes and, be there as an assistant to get shit if they need it. So it was normal for me. Okay, so I show up and it was Owen, the co-founder and my mentor. Then it was Nick, the co-founder and CEO of RSD, and Michael Sartain randomly. Shout out to Michael Sartain. He was there as well. And I like show up and I'm like, where's everybody else? Is there nobody coming? And they're like, there's nobody else. This is about you. Sit down. And classic RSD fashion, super uncalibrated. They're like, okay, you're going to be the new instructor and you're going to go on a world tour. It starts, here's the starting tour cities. It was like Chicago, Amsterdam, Berlin, Sydney, Stockholm. And I'm like, I'm reading all these cities. I'm like, holy shit, I've never been to any of these cities. Like, it's my dream these are incredible. And you're going to tour the world. You're going to do this. You're going to bring out your program. You're going to need to find an assistant, like your own assistant. Like, you go from assistant to someone who has an assistant. You got to build a film crew. You got to keep posting your content because your brand is already starting to take off. They're like 10 minutes into a monologue, and the words of, you're going to be the new instructor, haven't even hit me yet. And I'm asking, and they're like, any questions? And I'm just like standing there, and I was sitting there, and I'm like relaxed on the outside, I believe, but on the inside, I was like, I could not believe it. I'm like, holy fuck. And I'm like, the only question I had was like, when does it start? And they were almost angry at me that I asked that. They're like, it starts now. What the fuck are you asking? And I was so mind blown by that. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm ready. And they said, okay, well, first task for you, go back into the seminar room because there was a seminar ongoing right now. And one of the other 6 instructors was on stage right now. His name was Brad. Shout out to him as well. And they said, okay, go next to the stage. Tell Brad you need to say something real quick while he has his speech. And then go pitch your own 3-day in-person boot camp that starts tonight. And you're going to charge $2,000 per person. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And I was so mind blown, and it was all so unreal to me that I didn't even have space for like any self-criticism, doubts. It wasn't there. It was just autopilot. Like, guess I'm the new instructor. Like, I didn't even fully fucking realize it. So I go next to the stage, and it was literally like in a movie. I'm like trying to get Brad's attention, who's literally on stage talking to 300 people. I'm like, Brad. And he's like, with his mic, he's like, what? I'm like, bro, I gotta say something. Can I just come on stage? And he's like, sure, here's the microphone. Like, he didn't even give a shit. So I grabbed the mic, and it's like in the movies, like there was like feedback on the mic, like, ee! And I'm like, hello, test. And I'm like, hey guys, some of you guys might know me. I was the assistant. I'm now a coach, and you can now you can now train with me. It starts today. We're gonna have a good time. Okay, get hyped. Cost $2,000. I'm gonna give everything. I'm gonna coach you. It's gonna be great. So just come see me in the back, okay? And it was like, you know, like a guy coughing in the back. And like a tumbleweed through the room. And I'm like, okay, thanks, guys. And I'm going off the stage, and I'm like, okay, that was so shitty, you know, like, fuck. And I was standing there, and then a guy shows up with his girlfriend, funny enough. And he's like, bro, do you still have a space for the $2,000 thing? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, sure, my girlfriend wants to pay for me. And I'm like, sure, just write down, like, give him the sign-up page. And just like that, I made my first $2,000 client. And I'm like, holy shit. And we were only allowed to get maximum 3 clients because it was a 3-to-1 student to instructor ratio. Just like that, I made my first fucking $2,000. And I was like, this is insane. And then as I'm signing him up, I get a pat on my shoulder from a guy, and it was Nick, the CEO, the CEO and the other founder. And he's like, Max, this guy wants to sign up too. And I'm like, for today? He's like, yeah. Holy shit. Just like that, I made another $2,000. And as I'm signing these 2 guys up, and we're like getting ready because it was already evening, and getting ready to go out into the clubs of Las Vegas, just as we're getting out, a guy runs around the corner. He's like, Max, you still have space? I want to sign up. Just like that. I literally sold out my first in-person coaching 3 times $2,000 as a 22, 23-year-old. And that was that moment. And I coached my ass off on these guys. Officially, I think a night was like only 4 hours. I coached them until like 6 or 7 a.m. And I remember I still had no money. I mean, I got the $6,000, but they were not in my account yet. So I couldn't even afford a fucking cab from the club. And I was staying at the Westin Hotel, so I just walked home. It was like a 20-minute walk through the strip. And the sun was going up, and there was the Vegas, the big Ferris wheel. I forgot what it was called. And I'm like looking at it. And my parents had left me a WhatsApp voice message a couple days before, just checking in how I am. And I was so in trance. I'm like, hey guys, I think I made it. I think I got that collaboration gig that I always wanted. I think, like, it sounded so unreal. I didn't even fully believe it. And I think it took me well into my first world tour, like months later, to really fucking hit me that I'm now touring the world, getting paid to give seminars, and to see the world like as a 23-year-old. I instantly started making more than $10,000, $15,000 a month, which is like more than a doctor makes in Austria as like a 23-something-year-old. And I could swear, I could say whatever the fuck I want. I could talk to beautiful girls. I could teach guys about something that I'm extremely passionate about. And it was like a rock star life. It was insane.
You know what you said? One of the things you just said is you felt like you were in trance.
Yeah.
And when you were just explaining that moment when they sat you down and they were like, Max, you're going to be the new instructor, and it like hadn't hit you yet. As a hypnotist, immediately that's what my mind went to. It was just like you were in this like almost like hypnotic state as that was happening. It was like not your conscious mind that was directing that. It was just like almost happening like automatically by the sounds of it. And so like that moment and because that's when the real change happens, right? It's when you go into that state and you can just immediately, like you shifted who you are, you shifted identities. It was something you wanted for a long time and you just immediately became it. So now if you look back at it, I don't know if you ever looked back at it like that before, but that moment sounds like one of the most pivotal moments in your life. Have you like intentionally done that at any other points of your life? Because you've had so many like iterations of your career where you've gone into like new industries and just like taken them over.
Yeah.
Like have you noticed, just looking back, that that's happened before, or like how did that happen?
It happened many times after, but never intentionally, never from my side. It's very interesting that you mentioned that. It was never my decision to be like, I am now this. There was usually an external event, or most of the time, an external mentor figure, someone with authority that almost like gave me permission. Because I remember, it's very interesting that you brought that up, man. When I switched from the dating coaching to the business coaching, I told you it was a very natural thing for me to at least adapt the business coaching offer on top of the dating coaching offer. But I didn't see myself as a business coach, business consultant at all. And the pivotal moment there was my back then mentors. Again, someone that had authority in my eyes, someone that had competency in that field in my eyes. They told me, they're like, hey, if you want to do the business coaching, here's how to do it. You're going to do this. You're going to promote it like that. You're going to charge this much money. And these were all like pretty crazy sums. These were all things that were outside my comfort zone. And I got the usual internal objections. This is probably something, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that too. This is probably something that you work a lot with your clients, like internal objections of, am I good enough? Am I too early in this? Maybe I need to more experience, more XYZ, more knowledge before I'm allowed to do this, to be that person. So I had all these internal objections, and I said some of these objections to that mentor of like, but this, but that, but can I do this already? But who am I to charge these kind of prices? And you know what my mentor just said? They just said, of course. And I asked them, like, what makes you think so? And they're like, because you're Max fucking Tornow. And it made zero sense, that argument. But their conviction and the tonality and the authority you have, because I know what you do with hypnosis is it needs to come from a, what are the three things that they often talk about as authority, novelty, certainty. Yep. Like these are all kind of like the things that you have as the hypnotist that you need to convey in your conversations with the hypnotizee or whatever you call it, and with the hypnotee. And the way they said that was like, my identity just shifted. Of course, because I'm Max fucking Tornow. I'm not just a random dating coach. And but like, to answer your question, it was always something from the outside that had to give me permission. Is that necessary sometimes? Can people just give themselves permission like that?
The way you described it is how it is for most people. So it will just be like some event happens and then boom, you change. Mm-hmm. But now, once in a while, I see people where you can actually just do it by decision. And it's a skill to be able, because if you actually just think about it, what you just described is basically it, right? This is the process pretty much. So you can actually give yourself that permission to do it yourself. You don't need somebody else to tell you it. And that's essentially what, like, everybody who comes to me wants to do that. They're like, okay, I'm at 7 figures. I want to get to 9 figures. Yeah. Why can't I get there? Well, those internal objections. Well, what if you just had that same feeling, but you could just do it on command? and it seems funny, but it's 100% possible. This is why I was curious for you if it was like a conscious process. Yeah. Because, I mean, like, let's say you were to do that consciously, right? What would that next step be for you if you were just like, all right, I'm just gonna, because it's like your identity, and then there's like your business. And then, so it's like when you did the dating coaching, suddenly, boom, now your identity is here, I'm the coach, and then immediately you start making 10, 15K a month, like overnight. Yeah. Same thing with the business coaching. Mentor comes to you, boom, now then I'm assuming you start making loads of money very, very quickly, right? So it's always your external world and then you. Mm-hmm. And so it's always this balance, right? Mm-hmm. So the whole point of what I'm saying here is like, what would you, if you could just choose, what would that next level be for you? What would that look like?
It's very interesting that you mentioned that, because I had that latest pivotal moment was, I think, late last year, October, November-ish last year, where, funny enough, I did get hypnotized, and that was the first time I even heard about hypnosis being an actual thing. Like, before that, I was like, hypnosis, come on, that's like some woo-woo bullshit, just some money making. And then all of a sudden, I got more and more into it, and I'm like, yeah, sure, you can hypnotize me, fuck it. And my friend Marcel Klein, great guy, he hypnotized me, and I'm like, okay, that shit feels way more real than I thought. And I was super skeptical, right? I'm like, no way, come on, shut the fuck up, like, hypnotize me so I forget my name, get the fuck out of here. And we have it on camera, it's like, I forgot my name. The funniest shit ever. And and then I'm like, okay. And then of course I was exactly in that situation of like, okay, where do I want to be? Like, okay, if the limits are not there anymore, where do I want to be? So I made that decision, and I think right now, a couple months later, I'm at a level where my mentality, my idea of self is ahead, and the business is in the process of catching up. So we've had literally since October, coincidentally or not coincidentally, back-to-back record months. Like every single month we made more money than the month before. So the business is currently catching up, which is fucking fantastic. So my current self-imposed limits, I guess, if I would guess, is around 15 million a year, because the next goal is to just get 1 million a month. It's just because it's like a milestone. It's not like I want to stop at 1 million. I'm probably going to keep scaling, but I don't know yet what would be holding me back. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get to 15 million a year very quickly. I think we probably will crack the 1 million a month mark this year. And then we'll probably, because it's April now. So we probably will hit 1 million a month by June-ish. So that means we'll probably be at like 8-9 million that year. And then just keep scaling. But like my mind doesn't have that filter anymore of like, will I be good enough? It will just be a matter of innovation and scalability of each and every offer. So what I would be curious about that we need to figure out on the business side of things is how far can we scale the current offer until the scalability to profitability ratio is so low that it doesn't make more sense to push more. And then we just have to add a separate offer and then just like create an offer portfolio where each offer makes like $1 million to $2 million a month. And then just have like 3, 4, 5 offers that each make $1 million to $2 million per month. And then, all of a sudden you're going from $1 million a month to $5 million a month, which is pretty doable if you think about it. Like if I have the infrastructure on both the sales, the marketing, the advertising, and the deliverability of a single offer, and that single offer roughly caps out at 1.5 to 2 million a month, assuming it even does, it will be relatively simple to create a separate offer. Basically just copy paste the procedures, copy paste the hiring, copy paste a lot of the AI systems, because you'll need less hiring and just more AI systems. And boom, now you have this template for another 1.5 to 2 million for an offer. And now all of a sudden you go from making 15 million a year to 30 million a year. And now you're making fucking 30 million a year. So I got hypnotized for 50 million a year, which is funny. So he asked me, what's your current goal? And I say 1 million a month, aka roughly 10 to 12 million a year. And he said, that's bullshit. Your new goal is 50 million a year. So maybe even the reason why I'm thinking in 50 million right now and like having 2-3 offers and make 2-3 million a month is because my whatever subconscious mind's been programmed to 50. And I don't think right now that I need to make more than 50 million a year. I don't, for me, the value of my life becomes so diluted. I'm like, what else will I do? 50 million a year, you buy a shitload of real estate from that every month. So you're super covered with that. So even if your active income is going to go down to zero, you're going to make your 50 to 100K passive income just from real estate. And then, just make a bunch of kids, have a large garden, grow my own veggies, grow my own fruit. I want a cherry tree, an apple tree, a plum tree. I want to have bees, create my own honey, Tornow honey. I'm going to grow my own weed, Tornow weed, legally in wherever we're going to move. Big house, multiple saunas, a recording studio for music, a gym, and my wife's just going to be busy making kids nonstop until she's probably 40. So 3, 4, 5 kids, dogs from rescue shelter, cats. We love cats from rescue shelter, and a goat, minimum 1, probably 2. I think they're happier with other goats, so we can make goat milk, goat cheese. Ooh. And I talked to Elliot Hulse on my podcast. He's like, "Good bro, get cattle. Cattle is super easy. Like chicken, I'll get for sure, but chicken are way more work. Like they constantly get fucking eaten by predators, so you have to have them in a mini cage. You have to make sure they get the right food and so on and so forth. But cattle, you just have them outside. Nobody's gonna fuck with the cattle. They're just gonna eat the grass. You have them roam around. You just need a large place, large property, which inevitably I will have anyways. So I'll have the cattle, and you just have to have a vet come every couple months or so to just make sure they're healthy. And then, you can even outsource the slaughtering. So now you got milk, raw milk. You got goat cheese, goat milk. It's epic. And then what I do is I'll create these little gift baskets. So every time I have friends come over, by the time they leave, they get a gift basket. Here's the homemade jam. All right, here's some berries. Here's some egg. Here's some raw milk. Here's some weed if you want. It's just some Tornow weed. Here's some honey, some raw honey. Here's some cake that my wife cooked with ingredients from the house, and just a gift basket. That's my dream life. And I'll make a ton of music, teach my kids about entrepreneurship. I'll have an MMA coach come twice a week or something, do some rolling, some jiu-jitsu, and just have fun with the businesses and keep growing. Maybe not as hardcore as I'm doing right now, right? Because I don't have kids. I have pretty much as much time as I want. But, maybe dial it down a little bit, enjoy life, do a lot of music, and keep growing.
The funny thing is about all of that is you literally 4x your life essentially from that one hypnosis session.
Yeah.
If you actually think about it, right? Isn't that just so crazy? How just that one 30 minutes, 60 minutes completely changed everything for you.
Insane.
Right?
Like insane. And it's again like, and I'm not a woo-woo person. It's like I'm a skeptical person from the ground up on this kind of stuff. And I honestly think it's weird because like the universe keeps giving you awesome shit if you're aligned with your mindset. So the fact that I met you was not coincidence. The fact that you're changing your clients' lives with hypnosis is not coincidence. The fact that we're talking about hypnosis, not coincidence. The fact that more and more people are getting hypnosis coaches, especially entrepreneurs, because it unlocks shit in their brain, is not a coincidence. So many people think, it's like quote unquote regular people think like, oh yeah, with business it's just about whatever, who you know and how smart you are. Partially, yes. A lot of it is just like how unfucked your mind needs to become. And that's where hypnosis is just the fastest, most efficient way to do that.
It just removes the limitations from your mind, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, the way I think about it is, what life would you want if you had zero fear? If you had no limitation whatsoever? Because I think if we're being honest, like any goal that we set is still a limited goal. Because, okay, let's say it's even 50 million. What if you had a client who wanted to do a $100 million deal with you? But you're like, no, I only want 50 million.
Fuck, man.
It's the truth though, right?
Yeah.
This is why I think just these goals are bullshit. Because to me, the only reason to have a goal is literally just to force you to level up in the process of it, right? It should stretch you to where you now just feel like comfortable with that new standard.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, I had certain business goals as well, right? Now, actually just yesterday, the first company I worked with offered me equity in the business, right?
Sick.
If I was like, I only want to make this much a month, I probably wouldn't have been open to that deal. This deal could be worth 100 million over a certain period of time. Now, if I do that 100 times, right? Suddenly that's billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Right? Ask Will, just random side note, ask Will later. I don't know if he'll say it on the podcast, and I won't say it in case it's private, but what he's cooking right now is in relation to what I just said, and see if he talks about it. Because he's doing some crazy shit, and I think it'll be good for you. Maybe it's off camera or on camera, just to see what he's doing, because it may just get you thinking a little bit differently.
Okay.
And just give him a little smile and see if he says it, because he's doing some crazy shit. And to me, like, at a certain point, you have all the money you need, right? Like you said, like in your mind, it's like, you don't need more than 50 million, right? No one needs more than 50 million for themselves, right? Like, how much shit do you really need?
Yeah.
But it's not, to me, it's not even about that. To me, it's about like just leveling up in the video game of life and seeing what your potential is. Like when earlier you said about the what if, to me, it's like, it's not, you're not going to be on your deathbed at 90 and be like, oh, I should have made 10 more million. No, you don't give a fuck about that. But it might be things that you wish that you did that you just never even tried in this one time. And that doesn't have to be money related, but it could be through a business or it could be something else. So I'm just curious for you, because you have like such a great mind. Like if you just had no limits, like what other things would you do if you just had completely unlimited ability to do anything you want?
Real quick, before I answer that, one thing that I would love to hear from you is,
Sure.
when it comes to these goal settings, okay, with people coming to you and they say, can you, unlock my mind for the next level? Is there an argument to be made to do that in steps? So for example, some person that makes 10K a month right now, right? Is it wise for that person to say, my goal is to make 100 million? Or is it wiser to say, my goal is to make 10 million or a million first? Because because there's an argument to be made, in my opinion, that from someone that makes 10K a month to make 100 million a year, that it's like the number is so esoteric out there that it's not even graspable, that number becomes so unreal anyways. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So this is all just the logical mind that we're talking about, right?
Okay.
So it's I'll give you an example. I had a new client 2 days ago. He's in private equity in oil and gas. Super random. He's like a consultancy guy. He was like, yeah, I want to have $100 million net worth. And he's just like sitting there chilling on my sofa at my apartment as we're doing this session. Just legs crossed, just, yeah, $100 million net worth. And the reason I know he'll get that is because he genuinely, in his mind, it's not even a big deal. I'm like, do you know how you're going to get there? He's like, no, not yet. But like, that's what feels good to me. Like that's how, but it's real. Like he can actually do it, right? So the number doesn't actually matter. It's more just about getting to the space where you actually believe you can do that. And I'd say the best thing about hypnosis, for me at least, is just knowing that whatever I put my mind to, I can actually do. So there's zero filter on my mind of what I believe I can do. That doesn't mean I'm going to go do like random shit. Like I'm still going to do the things that I want to do, but I genuinely know that I can figure out anything that I want to figure out. So there's no number. You could be like, can you make $100 billion? I'll be like, yeah, if I want to, if I decide to put my mind to that. If I want to is a different question. So it's more about that, right? It's like, what do you actually want to do? And then what's actually like, what are you actually motivated by doing? So that's more what it's about. So, because here's the thing, man, someone could be at 10K a month, but they might genuinely have a billionaire mindset consciousness and actually do that. And I've met people like that who I've seen just go and lap everyone, all these people in the online space. Suddenly you get some dude who's just like ignorant comes across and now they're making like 3 million a month in like 2 years. And you've probably seen these guys and you're like, they're definitely not smarter than you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just, the only difference is their mind, right? They just don't have that limiter on them. So
interesting.
Does that kind of make sense?
It does make sense. It does make sense. There's like what your limit is in your mind versus, and then within that limit, what you actually want.
Exactly. Because the thing is, what happens is as we just go through life, more and more people's or just bullshit limiting beliefs get put onto us.
Yeah.
So that mentor, for example, who's super great, that he helped you like, okay, get to $1 million a month. It's like, that's really good, but still it's limited because that's by his reality of what's possible, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, what if he was at the mentor had 100 million a month mindset?
Yeah.
Suddenly now you're like thinking completely differently. What's possible is different. All that's happened is your belief changed. That's the only thing that happened. You didn't go to some special school. It wasn't a secret society. There wasn't some new knowledge gap. All of that shit's commoditized now because of AI and tech. Like you can figure out anything you want to figure out in like 10 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So this is literally the only thing that matters. So it's just the question is like, what do you actually want?
Yeah.
That's the most important thing, and getting that like real clarity. And I don't think it should be someone else telling you. If I'm being honest, like I think it should be coming from you. And if it's coming from you, the chances are like you'll get there a lot faster anyway because it's what you actually want to do.
Yeah. So like I said, what I actually want is not too crazy. A nice house where I can live a healthy lifestyle, away from a lot of plastic bullshit. Plastic. What is it called?
Microplastics.
Yeah, microplastics and everything that's bad for your body. I want to live in nature. I want to have a large area around there with lots of happy animals, good food, happy animals that turn into good food, and a lot of happy kids, and about 50 million a year. That sounds really, really good. And if anything else is possible, okay, get this. Okay, if really, really everything is possible, then I make an epic fucking metal band, and I tour the world with that band in my 40s and 50s. Okay, fuck. Okay, now you get me excited.
Let's go.
Because this is the first time, I'm not kidding, this is the first time I allow myself to say this out loud. Because that has always been my dream as a teenager already. To be a rock star and travel the world as a rock star. And I was working on that. I was practicing to get into the Conservatory of Vienna, one of the most prestigious music conservatories in the world. And I practiced every day for it, like 12, 14 hours. I woke up and still in bed, I would grab my guitar and play, even before I would like go to the bathroom or have breakfast. And I would just play, eat, play, go to bed. And then I got tendonitis on both arms, so I couldn't play anymore. And like 5 separate doctors told me, you'll never be able to play guitar anymore. Like this is a typical musician's health issue that you're having. fuck all the doctors, because I play again and play as much as I want. I've really worked on that. I understand my body. I understand how to warm up. I understand how to keep things healthy. And I just bought another guitar. I have like 8 or 9 guitars and 1 or 2 basses at home. And I just bought another guitar. And I got really hooked again. Now, for the first time since my 20s, I got really hooked on guitar. Even on this Dubai trip, I'm like, I miss my guitar. I was like this close to order a guitar from Kareem yesterday to just play a couple of riffs. And so like I said, this is the first time I'm talking about this. So when I then became a dating coach and I was touring the world, it was kind of like a surrogate dream because I was on stage. I was able to express myself. I was able to do whatever the fuck I want. It was kind of a rock star lifestyle. Less so now, you know, I'm like looking nicer, I'm dressing more nicely, but back then I dressed like a bum. I didn't give a fuck. I was swearing on stage. People loved it. I could very much I'm still very much who I am myself, but I was a little more extreme version of that. And I had a lot of girls and I made a lot of money. So I'm like, okay, this is basically a rock star. So that idea of a musicianship got more and more into the background. But now that I'm making more and more money and I have more and more spare time, coincidentally, I'm making more money than ever before, more profit for myself, EBITDA, more than ever before. But now I spend even less time on it because I got AI, I got team, I get to do cool shit like traveling to Dubai and being on awesome podcasts. I'm like, okay, let me pick up the guitar again and I just play for hours a day again. And I think what would be really exciting is being on fucking stage. And I've played on stages before, small stages. Like I think the biggest I played at was like maybe 300, 400 people or something like that. I mean, I traveled, I went on mini tours with some bands as a session bassist and session guitarist. We played support for Arch Enemy, a great metal band. I hung out with them backstage. It's really cool. It's an unbelievable feeling to be on stage and have a couple hundred people scream the lyrics of something that you wrote a couple months before at home, right? Like sitting there in your underwear with your shirt off and just putting words on a paper, expressing yourself. And then months later, people sing it back at you in unison. That energy exchange between you and the crowd is something godly, something very, very few people on earth get to experience. It's ethereal. It's outside of this regular realm. It's something spiritual. And it's very similar to when people come up to me like you who say, Max, I bought your old programs and they really helped me. It's very similar to that. It's like, wow, something I put a lot of thought and love into is being picked up by someone else, and then they grow their love, and now they're inspiring a lot of people, right? Like you have clients all around the world, you have an audience all around the world, and it's this part of this upward spiral. And the people that you change, now they're changing the people they're helping and their families, and it's just like everybody gets better spiritually, financially, economically, everything. And music is like that, but on a more artful, spiritual level. So to get back to your question, if everything is possible, then I'm going to do all that. I'm going to have a sick house. I'm going to play a lot of music. I'm going to write a bunch of awesome shit. I'll get some cool talent with me on that. And we fucking tour the world. In my 40s and 50s, we'll be like the old fuck band. And we'll play awesome fucking music. And the cool thing is that, actually, that's why it goes full circle. As a band, you're always restricted because you need to make money with what you do. Okay? So your soul is conflicted. Your soul wants to express itself fully and without filters. But your human body is like, hey, but I also got a fucking family to feed, okay? Like, let's make sure we're, like, mainstream enough. Let's make sure we go on enough tours. Let's make sure we keep, the payroll tight of the roadies and the crew that we have on tour. Do we really want those pyros? That's an extra $4,000 or $5,000 per show. It's going to be less profit. I won't have that problem because I'll be making a shit ton of active income still from my businesses. Plus, I have a shit ton of cash. So I'll just be like, whatever, if we just want to play 5 shows in a month, we'll do it, right? If I want to bring my family along with me at my own dime so my kids can see the world while we play a show in Tokyo, they can go check out the whatever they want in fucking Tokyo, I can do that. So I think it will even give me an extra edge Man, we're going to play back this podcast in 15, 20 years when I'm a musician traveling the world, man. It's because you asked me, man.
Dude,
That's literally like, this is it.
I love everything you said, and I want to say one thing.
Yeah.
Why 15 years? What's stopping you from doing that? Seriously, think about it, bro. Like you said, your soul is calling you to this. Like yesterday, you nearly ordered a freaking guitar on an app in Dubai. This is what your soul is calling you towards, right? Yeah. And this is the. I'll give you a quick story. Right? One of my clients. Do you know who Jake Tran is?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I watch his stuff, man.
Okay, dude. So he's a client of mine. I think first of all, I think he would be great for you guys to connect if you haven't already.
I would love to.
Here's the reason why. He's at a similar stage to you, and one of the things that I'm now helping him with is that literally to become a rock star.
Holy shit!
So
what instrument?
I think he plays guitar. I think he plays guitar. I mean, you know what he looks like. He's got blue hair. Yeah, so he literally like looks like a rock star.
Full on.
So, dude, maybe you guys make a freaking
We should
band.
make a band, man. That's it, man. I love it, man.
Dude, I'm legit gonna connect you guys. But
love it.
But the thing is right, I'm helping him just like step into this now. Because here's the thing, bro. You don't know if you're gonna live till 40. This whole dream you have, that might not happen. So my whole thing is like, why not do that now? What if you did that now and you took steps towards that and you made more money?
What if I told you that's just, I'm not sure if this is limiting belief or just me being smart about it. If I did go all into the musicianship, I would probably have to neglect my responsibilities that I have right now to my current team, my current clients. That's just what I'm assuming, right? So my mind works very compartmentalized. My mind is module 1, business 1 million a month, make more money and build it in a way so I spend even less time on it. Module 2, make kids. Because like once the bun is in the oven, right, I just don't have to do much. Just wait for the kid to be here, and then make sure that the first couple of years I'm there. And then module 3 is once the kids are there, I'll be in a house with the kids, build the house around the exact needs I have, with the studio in it. Because right now I don't even have a place, right? Like I constantly travel. I have a place in Cyprus, but that doesn't have a studio in it. So I like need to build the base for me to efficiently work on my musicianship. So these are all just kind of like modules. So to answer your question, why not now? It's because like I need to build the house first and I need to get the kids first. Is that a limiting belief somehow, or is that just me being smart about it?
If I was the other way around and I was coming to you saying my biggest dream in life is to be a musician, what would you say to me?
The thing is, I'm not sure if it is my biggest dream.
So this is the thing, right? This is what I would say. In your mind, you're thinking about it linearly, logically, which there's nothing wrong with. But that linear thinking is what stops the quantum growth of just going crazy. All I'm saying is like, could there be a reality that exists? Bro, you're traveling the world right now. You're literally on tour right now. What's stopping you from having an instrument with you and guys who want to play, and you literally like just doing it right now? Maybe and you make it look however you want to look. Maybe you just do a couple shows in each place that you go.
That's actually a sick fucking idea.
You're here anyway, bro. You're doing it right now. About that.
Yeah.
Right?
I could combine the regular touring with like, let's play some gigs.
How epic
would
would that
really
be,
sick,
bro?
actually.
Imagine you doing that. And like, you're literally going around, you're doing the shows, you're still doing podcasts, and you're like, you just come back from a show. I'm like, yo, how's the show? You're like, yeah, good, man. We just ripped it in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
And now you're here.
That is such a sick idea.
Yeah.
I'm already traveling anyway.
It's happening, bro.
Why? Yeah. Why thinking about it linear? Like, why not booking shows in the cities I go to? And I always go to bigger cities anyways.
Exactly.
Because that's where I do the podcast. Like New York, Miami, LA, Dubai.
And all of that experience that you had, you already know you can do it because you've done it.
Yeah.
It's the same shit.
Oh
it's
my
just now you're
God.
doing what
I
you
need
love.
musicians. Hey,
Yeah.
if you're listening to this, we need a drummer, a bassist, and maybe another guitarist. Maybe that's going to be Jake Tran. I don't know. Hit me up on Instagram, Max_Tornow. Let's go. We're going to play rock/metal. Good.
How epic would that be, bro?
That would be so sick, man.
And this is the craziest thing, right? When you do this, you actually make more money.
Yeah.
Because you're now like fully in alignment with your most authentic and truest self. There's no limitation anymore. There's no more of this like, oh, I have to do it this way and this way and this way. It's like, no, you don't. You can do it however you want to do it, right?
Yeah. Also, you're 100% right. I'll make more money because there's no more end to these means anymore. Because right now I'm like, I'm going to go make all this money and then I'll stop it to do the other thing. But if I'm already doing the other thing, there's no more need to stop the first thing. And instead, I'll just keep growing and just keep getting bigger at all of them.
It's an infinite game.
It's a very, very, very good point. Fuck, man.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Total mind blower. I see that. I could see that's what you do with your clients all the time. And it's funny because the first thing I do is I resist it because I know it's a good idea. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know. What about the linear thing? And you're just like, no, you don't need that. Don't worry. It's again, you're the authority. You're giving me permission to be like, oh no, you don't need to do it that way. You know that?
Yeah.
And the way you say it is with authority, but also with sense. It's not this like blind authority, like I am your boss and you do what I tell you. It's just like the right kind of authority behind it. And you're probably like slightly hypnotizing me as I'm speaking to you or something like that. Like, yeah. And that's why this shit is so powerful and it makes 100% sense.
Dude, you can create any life that you want. This is my whole point, right? I hope people listening like see this moment and they're like, wait a second, dude. My favorite band of all time are Foo Fighters, right? I somehow got a free ticket to see them when I was at university. I couldn't afford a ticket. Somehow I got a free ticket. Taylor Swift opened for the Foo Fighters.
Wow.
So it's me, a bunch of dads and their girls, and then some like rock dudes waiting for Foo Fighters to come on. So I'm like in this weird situation, right? And when Foo Fighters finally come on, Dave Grohl comes on with his whole family, kids, they all walk on stage. This dude's just doing it purely for the love. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care how much money he makes. He's already made a bunch of money. He already has businesses. He has all these other things.
Yeah.
And he's just doing what he wants to do. Right. And to me, that is the truest form of expression.
Amen.
I just saw Usher last weekend, bro.
Yeah,
46 years old. I showed you, right?
Yeah.
46 years old. He's made hundreds of millions of dollars and he's still playing now but the reason he's able to do that is because he actually loves what he's doing. He's authentic to it. He hasn't like waited. He's been doing it this whole time. And you can just do it however you want to do it. This is my point, man. It's like following your creative expression. And I see you like a rock star as well. To me, you're like way more like a rock star than like an online business coach. I think you probably feel like that as well, right?
I do.
You know what I mean? You literally like, I remember what you like with the long hair. Like
I got the tattoos.
You got the tats, bro.
Yeah.
Every sign is like, if you just did a poll and you were like, what is this? What is this guy? And like, what is his thing? People would think you're a rock star anyway, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just put on a shitty shirt and then you're already back, bro. Like,
That's it. Yeah. It's funny. It's even the brand right now, the way I built it is kind of like rock star business consultant-ish, right? Yeah. That was also on purpose. Like I have speeches of mine. If you look some on the Max Tornow channel, some of my newer videos are from a seminar. So much swearing in that. Holy shit. Because once I get in the zone, it's like fuck this, shit that. And like people are like, the content is really good, but you also swear a lot. And the reason why I don't want to cut that out or hold it back is because of exactly that. I'm like, because that's how I am naturally. When I'm excited about something, I do slip in an F-bomb and an S-bomb and whatnot. And I don't want people to not know that beforehand. I want to be like, this is it. This is what you're going to get. Okay? You're going to get the guy with the finger and hand tattoos and the swearing and the slight accent. That's part of the package. And I want it to be that authentic. And people who like it are welcome. And people who don't like it, you go buy from someone that is cleaner in this regard. But or it's also the inner rock star that's probably coming out, you know?
100%, man. It's just you. And then through doing that, the funny thing is you are then giving them permission to actually build their life in the way that they want to build it.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
How freaking cool is that?
It's an upward spiral again.
Exactly.
Everybody's part of that fucking upward spiral. You can either be part of a downward spiral of friends that are holding each other back, that are all just complaining about, oh, the girls don't like us, the money making is rigged, everybody that's richer than us is assholes. Now you're part of a fucking downward spiral. Even your inner microcosm can cause your own downward spiral. The words you're using, the way you talk about yourself, on your inner monologue, the way you think about yourself, the way you treat yourself before you go to bed, the way you treat yourself when you're feeling sad. Are you pushing yourself down? Or you piece of shit? Now you're sad again. You lost again. You can't even succeed XYZ. Or are you talking up to yourself? Like, okay, hey, I'm doing good. Like today I learned one new thing. Today I failed, which is good because it brings me closer to the right way, and so on and so forth. And I think it starts with the way you treat yourself, which is where stuff like hypnosis is really, really effective because it helps you with that inner monologue, right? Because like you said, it dissolves inner barriers. That's the first stage. All of a sudden, you think differently. Your inner monologue looks differently, which means the reality that you process gets processed more positively, because reality is not fact. Reality is objective things being subjectively interpreted. So a girlfriend breaking up with you is a girlfriend breaking up with you, but the way you respond to that is entirely up to you. I've seen two ways happening. I've seen guys, because I'm bringing this example now because I've worked with a lot of men over many years. In this regard, there's two kinds of guys, two kinds of responses. The ones that implode and go down a downward spiral of like, okay, all women are haters, they all suck. The girlfriend cheated on me. I'm not good enough. Everything sucks. I was just lucky in the first place to get her. And they just go play video games, drugs, alcohol, pornography, shitty jobs, etc. And there's the other kind of guys that are like, okay, I got broken up. That sucks. Let me hit the gym. Let me work on my charisma. Let me work on my career. Let me go get better friends. Let me quit the fucking alcohol. Let me quit the fucking weed. Let me quit the pornography. Let me just get a better life, everything. And now you're part of an upward spiral. And the cool thing is, like you said, you now start crushing it. You might have friends that are trying to drag you down. You either stop hanging out with them or you pull them up with you so they stop dragging you down. And now other people are going to ask you for advice. And now the cool thing is, what it does is it creates a two-way connection when people ask you for advice, because you now give them advice, but they also give you a lift up, because now you feel a little bit of a positive responsibility. You get a little bit of a positive push. So maybe next time where you're inclined to slack off or smoke weed or have a drink, you're like, do I want to do this right now? Because maybe it would be disappointing for that other person that looks up at me. So you start choosing always the higher option, the higher energetic option, the better version of yourself. And you upgrade yourself, which coincidentally inspires even more people, which coincidentally inspires you back, and you grow.
Speaking about the higher energy version of yourself, let's talk a little bit about spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear the story of the first time you did ayahuasca.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, I got to hold myself back because I did a video when I record a video after every ayahuasca trip, and that one was like 2.5 hours long. It was 2019 when I did it for the first time, and I did it because I told my team, I think when we reach 500K a month, I'll invite everyone on an ayahuasca trip. And we hit it like after 2 months or something like that with the back then new offer. And I told my whole team, I'm like, because at first everybody was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then I'm like, okay, guys, like, here's some info on how this works. Okay, this is not like a fun fucking trip. This is like a ceremony. You're probably going to throw up. It's going to be difficult. And then like almost everybody said they weren't going to do it. So I think it was like 5 or 6 people. Coincidentally, one of them is still with us. And he's in a very, very high executive position and absolutely crushing it. But anyways, yeah, we did it in 2019. And it's really funny because you have to work with it. That's the strangest thing. It's a tea that you drink, so it is a substance that you literally take. But if you're not ready, quote unquote, spiritually, it doesn't do anything. That's very, very strange, right? Because I can drink a bottle of vodka, and if I want it or not, I'll be wasted. You know what I mean? But with ayahuasca, unless your heart is open, it's not going to work. And funny enough, 2 years ago when I did the second ceremony, I drank 1 cup as well and instantly worked. And there was a guy who drank 8 and nothing happened. He just kept drinking more and more. The 8x dose of what's usually necessary, and nothing happened. And the reason why that is I guess it has some sort of spirituality to it. There's some sort of, I don't know, like extra dimensional shit going on. So when I took it for the first time, I was very cynical. I was like, these fucking hippies, because I'm not a hippie person, but the setting is extremely hippie. There's like shamans around it. There's like candles. They're singing music on their guitars. And I was like super business minded back then. It was 2019, just started my second multi-7-figure business. So I'm like, these fucking hippies, this sucks. what is this stupid thing? It's not working. And I just fell asleep. So they give it to you at around 2 a.m. in the morning. I fell asleep, kind of in and out. And then the next morning, 7, 8 a.m., we all had breakfast together. There was like an adjacent room there was like a circular room where everybody was supposed to trip together. Everybody had their own mattress, and there was an adjacent room with a big table where we had breakfast together. And I'm just like looking at my breakfast, and it starts wobbling and breathing. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. And then the moment I realized that, I had a huge surge in anxiety. That's very, very indicative of a very, very strong psychoactive substance like ayahuasca. Is you get an insane spike of fear for your life. Like you just get anxiety. You're like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening? It's not a nice feeling at all, because you're in the process of getting your rug pulled underneath your feet completely, like literally completely. In fact, a friend of mine asked me after that, she's like, oh, I heard you did ayahuasca. How was it? And I explained it to her. And then she said, but you're still in control, right? And I'm like, that's the point, because you're exactly not. You're 0 in control. Not 1%, not 10%. You're 0 in control. That's the whole point of it. So it's onsetting. And I got this extreme surge in anxiety. And funny enough, there was a dog there too, the dog of one of the shamans. And the dog was on the other side of the room and kind of like looks to me. We have like eye contact, and the dog comes over. It's like the dog like knows. It's so funny. And the dog's like staring at me, and I'm like petting it, and I'm like, the dog knows. And I'm telling the shaman, I'm like, hey, I think something's happening. And he's like, yeah, what? And between me saying something's happening and him saying, yeah, what? I start getting all this anxiety. I'm like, something's wrong. Something's happening. Guys, help me. This is not real. Like, because it doesn't feel like you just took ayahuasca. It feels like you took it the wrong way, or your body has some sort of adverse reaction and you're going to die. That's how it felt to me. I'm like, guys, something's wrong. Gotta help me. And this shaman, all they said was like, just let it happen. You know, like complete the hippiest answer. And I'm like, that's not helpful at all. Okay. I'm dying. They're like, just accept it. And I'm like, okay, I gotta lie down, because my whole muscles stopped working. They got so relaxed that I just couldn't keep my head on my neck. And I tried to reach my mattress, and as I'm walking, like my knees just give in, and I fall on the side onto my mattress halfway. And I'm lying on the side, like very uncomfortably, and I just feel like I'm melting into the floor, literally completely melting. And I had this noise in my ears, the noise of like ants eating me, like that, extremely creepy. I had tears in my eyes as well. I don't know if it was just a natural reaction or if it was emotionally so crazy that I started having tears in my eyes. And I remember I closed my eyes to kind of like help with the processing. And as I'm like melting into the ground, I open my eyes again, and it's all blurry, and like everything is moving, everything. And I look at my left arm, and all my tattoos are moving. Like my whole skin is like shifting. And I remember I moved my arm like this, like 90-degree movement. And it was not one arm moving. It was like 100 arms, like 100 arms. And I'm like, okay, I got to close my eyes again. And I managed to like move my upper body to lie on my back. And as I'm like having my eyes closed, I see an entity, an energy in the form of a female spirit rising up above me. And it was this like glaring blue, silver shining spirit. And I'm like, wow, that's like Mother Ayahuasca, as they call her, like a female spirit, which is funny. They call it specifically a female spirit. And she had this glowing silver sword. And she pointed it at my sternum right there in the middle. And she kept pushing it in. And I'm like, whoa, like you're going to kill me with this. And she said, yes. Like she kind of communicated to me with love, like the motherly love. And she said, I love you. And because I love you, I'm going to kill you. But not like in a bad way. It's just like it's part of it. And of course, I resist. I'm like, I don't want to die. No, like, don't kill me. And she said, the more you resist, the more I'm going to push this sword into your chest. Like, whatever you resist persists. And I'm like, no, 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 no. And she says, yes, yes, yes. And then at some point I'm like, okay, go for it. And the moment I give in, the moment I say go for it, she pushes the sword in. And the moment she pushes the sword in, I catapulted into the universe. Just complete, all of a sudden, out of my body, into the universe. And I was in the universe, but also the universe was inside me. And that's where this whole connection of like being one with everything all of a sudden starts getting established. And I physically feel everything around me. I could reach any point of the earth just with my feeling. I felt the people in the room with me. I knew exactly where everybody was, even though I had my eyes closed. I'm like, oh, cool. Over there is Simon. He's our closer. Over there is Nico. Over there is Balia, my assistant. Over there is Charmin 1, Charmin 2. Over there is their 2 wives. I could feel everybody. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Can I feel the grass outside of this room? I can feel that. I can feel the cows outside. I can feel the trees. Okay, can I feel the world? Oh, I feel the world. Can I feel the universe? Wow, great. Then I had the feeling of, if I can feel everybody right now, can I feel people in the past and in the future? Yes, I can. And it was really, really beautiful because I saw my mother in the past. And my parents got divorced when I was, I think, 10 years old. And then my mom basically brought us up alone. 3 kids. I had 2 siblings. I have 2 siblings. And sure, we saw my dad every other weekend. He was still there. And my parents have a great relationship. They're like really good friends. Best divorce ever. Like they really, really mastered that. So shout out to my parents. But my mom nonetheless got the bulk of the work and the bulk of the responsibility. And I didn't notice that. I was too young. But she worked like full-time job, studied on the side to become a psychotherapist, didn't have much money. She fucking suffered. She put all her needs, her entire life on the back burner for like decades to bring up 3 kids. And I have to say, I'm crushing it in life. My sister's crushing it in life, and my brother is crushing it in life differently, right? They're not entrepreneurs. My sister has, she just got a kid. Happy fucking family, dog, kid. So proud of my little nephew. My brother is crushing it. He's a social worker. He's working with very, very difficult kids. He has an incredibly good relationship with them, incredibly good influence onto them. And so really difficult, I would say, for a young single mom to bring up 3 kids to all do very well respectively in their lives. And she had to work her ass off. And I see her in the past, my young mother, how much she suffered, how much she was doubtful, and how much pain there was. I felt it. I felt it like it was mine. I didn't feel it like, oh, I see you're suffering, I'm sorry. No, it's like, it's my pain. And I feel that and I say, I'm sorry, Mom. Not like, I'm sorry it's my fault, but like, I'm so sorry you feel this pain. And I felt her pain so deeply. And then when I said sorry, it helped me process that. And then I moved on to my dad, and I felt the pain from my father, how he lost connection to his son because I became very successful and I had less contact with him, and I was traveling the world, and he felt like he wasn't good enough anymore for his successful son. So I'm like, I'm sorry, Dad. And I made a mental note, hang out more with your dad, which is out of that, I birthed the idea of going on a yearly trip with my dad, a father-son trip. We go on yearly trips. We've been to Portugal, Scotland, Cyprus. It's really amazing. And then I move on to my brother. I'm like, my older brother. And I felt his pain. And he had a very similar pain to my dad. He wants to hang out more with his brother. And now we go every year, we hike up another mountain in Austria. It's really cool. And then I'm like, oh my God, what about my young sister? I was such a shitty brother to her. I kept telling her she's stupid. I kept forcing her to like bring me stuff from the kitchen when I was too fucking lazy. I'm like, oh God, this is going to be so much pain that I inflicted on my sister. And I looked at my young sister, at her spirit, and it was perfect. It was this glaring, shiny goddess. I'm like, fuck. Out of all of us, my young sister is this perfect spiritual being. And I was so proud of her. I'm like, mental note, my sister is the best. So amazing. I'm so proud of her. And now her life is amazing. I'm like I love spending time with her. And she doesn't feel that much like my younger sister anymore. She almost feels like my older sister. I'm so proud of her. Shout out to my sister. And And then the most mind-blowing thing had happened. I saw my now girlfriend for 8 years, and I saw her in the future, how she was older. She clearly aged, but she was still beautiful. She was like, in my vision, like 40, 50 years old, still has her long, blonde, beautiful hair, a couple wrinkles, but gorgeous. And I saw her holding a kid. I saw her holding our baby. And I was like, oh my God, we're gonna get kids. This is gonna be my wife. This is gonna be the mother of my children. And then really cool, I saw her spirit and mine like dancing with each other and like flying up in like an upward spiral movement as well. And I'm like, wow, it's like her spirit and mine are the same. It's like we're part of the same soul. And I had felt that before, but seeing that visualized in that vision was a whole other level to that. And it's funny, to this day, I don't see my girlfriend as a separate person. It's very strange. Like when I look at her, it's not like, here's this woman. It's like, oh, here's my other half. It sounds so weird. It sounds so, cliche or whatever. But I'm like, this is me. This is like, I can't live without this. This is my literal, actual other half right there. It's very, very strange. Very strange. And even now, I'm in Dubai. I'm living this like baller lifestyle, right? Like we're meeting girls at the dinners and stuff like that. And like I catch myself more than ever. I'm like, I just want to be at home with my girlfriend, man. I just want to be at home. And I just want to make kids, just load her up with kids and just treat her well every day. And it's very weird. My whole life goals have gone from, as a teenager, I'm like, I just want to be rich and get all the girls, to like, I want to be rich and have one woman and just give that woman everything. It's really funny. My girlfriend never asks for anything. She would never ask me for money. Never. She would never ask to pay at the restaurant. In fact, I have to often physically like kick her away to not have her pay, like from the pay machine, the ATM thing, like go away, like you're not gonna pay. After like trick, like she's Scandinavian, right? They want to take care of themselves too. And because she does that, because she never asks for anything, she always gets everything. I'm gonna make sure she gets everything ever. And there's always other women that I will run into, that I meet and stuff like that, or just female friends, and they would all always ask for things. And I'm like, no, that's why you're not my girlfriend. That's why you will never be my girlfriend. So things are happening on a very, very high level, and ayahuasca has helped me see that. And so what you do is you talk about your trip the next morning to the shamans, and they help you interpret that. And they said, hey, that vision that you had of the two spirits of yours like dancing, it's what we call a twin flame. And so apparently that's like a real thing. And that was the first time I took it. It was very, very life-changing. And I'd never worked harder in my life than the 6 months after my first ayahuasca ceremony. That was the last thing I'm going to mention there, because I'm like, I thought about all this like love and family, and coincidentally, I'm like, okay, so that covers my history and my love life and my relationships and my personality. What about my business? And then I saw my business, the back then business consulting, and it was like a city made out of white marble, and it was in the process of construction. And it was like I was like the mayor of that city, and my back then business partners were the co-mayors of that city, and it was under construction, and it was this beautiful, perfect. It was almost like, it looked like Dubai, like very modern, high-rise buildings, everything beautiful, perfect infrastructure, but it was in the process of construction. And ayahuasca was like, you're building this fucking city. You're losing focus. Back then I lived in Kiev. I went on all these dates. I met all these women. It was almost like a destructive relationship that I had with dating. Destructive because I could have made more videos. I could have hired more people. I could have pushed more into business. Instead, I was meeting a new girl every day. I was going on 2-3 dates per day, and I was like barely managing that. That was already crazy as it is, 2-3 dates a day. Instead of like, hey, you got a team here. You don't think your team deserves your attention? You got all these clients. You don't think your clients deserve more attention of yours? You got the channel of yours. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You got this beautiful city. Go build it. And that's why the 6 months after my first ayahuasca trip, I worked harder than ever before to build that beautiful marble city. And it's still under construction, but it's grown quite a lot.
Damn. And here we are.
Yeah, here we are, man.
That was epic, man.
Yeah.
That was a crazy story. I think we have to wrap up, unfortunately.
Bro, I'm so sorry. How long did I speak?
No, I think we're good. I had so many more questions. We'll have to do a part 2, but dude, it was a fucking epic
I'd love to do a
podcast.
part 2. I'd love to do a part
Definitely.
2.
We'll do it. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I'm in Europe this summer, so if you're around, we'll make it happen.
We'll do round 2, and I'll have you on my podcast as well.
Let's do it.
Thank you for having me, man. And really, what you're doing is changing the fucking world. It's changing the best people, which are entrepreneurs. It's one of the most profound things that anybody could do. I strongly, I mean, people who listen to this, they know you already. But I strongly recommend everybody to go deeper with you and have their lives changed as much as well.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. And you changed my freaking life, man. And so
thank you.
Any way I can support you, I want to do, because you were literally one of those big influences for me.
Love
back
it.
when you were doing your thing, man. So
thanks, man.
Crazy how the world works.
Full circle,
yeah,
man.
dude. Okay, man.
Good shit.